Hello, YouTubers. Welcome to Mr. Smith Garage. If you didn't know what we're working on, I have a 2002 EuroVan. It's right behind me here. Has some paint issues, sat out in the sun, sat on top of a squirrel mound for about 5 years. So it's got, some problems. I've gone through and fixed most of the wire problems. I've been somewhat documenting this for myself because I don't think I'm going to remember what I did, especially with the wires, the hoses, things that I've removed. This is a pretty sophisticated engine that we have. So I'm going to show you what my next step is. So I've got quite a few parts and I was just about ready to put this thing back together, but I've cleaned a bunch of parts, and then I have all this to deal with. Let me get some brighter light here. So as you can see, it's not completely disgusting dirty. Well, yes, it is. Like you can see, there's quite a bit in there. I'm trying to determine whether to take the head completely off, clean out the carbon that's inside in the piston area and cylinders, clean all this out, and then put it back on. I've got a head gasket. A new set of bolts for this is only $30. I actually have them on order right now. So literally it would just be taking it off, cleaning out some of this sludge and carbon buildup that's in here, and then putting it back on. It means that I have to take off the fuel rail, which I'm okay doing. Got the seals on order for the injectors. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Should I do it? Everything that I've thought about has been positive for doing this. I don't have any negative things about doing it other than I have to remove the head. Cost is not incredibly high to do this extra step. So I'm thinking I'm just going to do it. I did want to pre-record this to kind of show you where I've got some nastiness in there. And one of the dilemmas I have is, where do I hold this thing up with? So right now I've got it on this belt tensioner over here. I probably could put a long bolt in this holder. Anyway, this is where, the power steering pump, air conditioner, alternator all goes here. So this is probably strong enough. If I put a bolt on there, I could hold it up. So that's where I'm at. I'd really like to get back to working on Jack, but I need to get this done. Still waiting on a few parts. Did lots of cleanup on these parts. Actually, I have new seals for that. Cleaned this piece up. This was nasty, right? Cleaned the lower timing chain cover up, and I'm waiting on that seal. Clean the upper timing chain cover. So everything's clean, and then I came out, I was thinking I'm going to start putting it together, and then I looked at this and I thought, I can't do it. I just can't do it. It just is nasty in there, and I just would like it to be cleaner. So I think that's the thing I'm going to do. Let me try to find a way to reconnect this so that I can actually hold the engine up that's a little bit more upright. So that's next steps. Okay, I've quite precariously propped this on some wood. So here's what I've decided to do. I'm going to pull these 4 bolts first. Should get some fuel come off of here. There we go. Got a couple of injectors out. See some seals. Oh, easy there. Let's not put it in the engine. Okay, so I got some fuel in the rails. There's a O-ring, O-ring, O-ring. Looks like these other ones maybe stay. Oh, that one stayed on there. Take a look at these fuel injectors. They look okay. A little bit of carbon buildup on there. Top ones that are going in the top. Electrical is down. If they're going in the bottom ones, electrical is up. So in all things, this has been a good process because I'm actually learning a little bit more about this engine while I'm doing this. So I did pull the fuel injection rail out. It goes this way in. I put all the injectors back in the right place that they would be in. All my clips are good. I'm definitely going to want to change the O-rings or the seals. There's a seal here, seal here, seal here. So I think I've ordered one seal, but not all of them. So once again, you can see there's a seal at the top, seal in the middle, and then there's a seal in the seat of the fuel rail. I think now is when I'm going to try to do a balancing act of replacing where this is at here down to this. Okay, so here's what we ended up doing. I did get some eye bolts here from Ace Hardware, and I've got it running through, I think this is one of the alternator things. It said it had a 200-pound load on this eye bolt. That'll hold it upright so that I can take the bolts out, head bolts out, pull the head off, and it's completely supported by the bottom half. And then my plan is also to take off the oil pan, clean the oil pan up, see what's inside there. But yeah, feeling pretty good about that. I can get this out of the way for Mrs. Smith to get home, get that head cleaned up, hopefully get those parts. Ooh, this looks great, actually. So this is the first time I've had this up where I can actually see into the valves. Look at those intake valves, huh? Those look clean. That's great. So we got clean intake. All right, thanks for joining me so far. If you are a subscriber, I appreciate your subscription. If you are not, feel free to subscribe. We do a lot of crazy stuff here on Mr. Smith Garage. I have never worked on a VR6 motor before, so this is kind of crazy. If you're a VR6 person, you probably would say, yeah, that's probably crazy. Hey, welcome back, Mr. Smith Garage. I'm avoiding knocking things over in my garage. As many of you probably, same thing. So I've got this in a spot where once I lift it up, it's pretty level. I can get this head off with the 20 bolts, but I don't have room to do anything with the head right now. I mean, the main point of this is to take it off and clean it, and then put it all back together. So you can see I've got parts, all my clean stuff here, parts in the box. So what I need to do is I'm going to clean off my workbench today. So that's the goal. Get some space so I can put the head here, work on cleaning it here. So that's my goal for today, is to clean off. It's very cold and messy outside. Very cold and messy outside. It actually snowed here this morning. It doesn't usually snow where we're at, but I got a lot going on the workbench. things just kind of pile on as I work on things. I've got 2 sets of tools that I've been working with. I've got kind of my tool set here, and then I've got some tools over on the other side where I've been working on the engine. I may bring some of that back over here and get it all set up in here so that everything's somewhat clean and ready to go. But that's the goal. That is the goal of what today is all about. So okay, so pretty clean, you know, enough for a VR6 head right here, at least be able to set down. I wanted to mention something. I've got a couple of these. You're probably wondering, why does he have sriracha bottles? Well, one of my listeners, one of my subscribers, Brian, I was over there helping him with he's got a square back that we still need to get it running, but we got it running once. And we were looking for something to be able to like squirt gas in his carburetors because he's got dual carbs. He goes into his house, or into his garage, looks around, goes into his house. He brought out a sriracha bottle. And he's like, how about one of these? I'm like, yeah, sure. So he emptied out the sriracha that was in there. He just had a little bit, I think, left. And we cleaned it out, put some gasoline in it. And so ever since, I've been saving my sriracha bottles to put gasoline in case I need gasoline. So great idea. Thanks, Brian. So that's why I have a couple sriracha bottles sitting around. But I think I got this clean enough to be able to put a head on here. Let's go get that head loosened up and bring it on over here. Got this precariously placed. Basically, we're trying to get the head off. I've got it kind of stabilized with these on the ground, but also held up in the air tight enough. Got 20 bolts in here that I need to take out. It's kind of hard to see. I like the wide angle effect, but you see there these triple square 12-point bolts in there. Got my light kind of hooked up there to give me a little bit more light. But yeah, we're just going to take this off. Looking at that a little more closely, it's actually sludge in there that I need to get out of there before. Oh yeah, it is not. Look at that. Okay, went through and did some cleaning. Now I'm going to see if it actually worked or not. So get that kind of down in there. I am going to replace these bolts. All right, I do think that that is all of them. I got them all loose. I need to get them out of there, but I'm just going to use a little assistance from my craftsman. There's some nice bolts. Too bad you can't reuse them. Okay, so all the head bolts are out right here, down low. There's a couple of pins that are basically holding it on in place. I think here I could probably see if it pops a little bit. Yep. Okay. It's loose. I don't know how heavy it is, so I know I gotta lift it off, but we'll see. Get some bolts on this side to hold on to. See where I can get it out of here without dropping it on anything. Certainly don't want to drop it. Tiny little pistons. Okay, so I'm glad I took it apart because look at all the sand and gravel that jumped in there, probably from the exhaust manifold. Cylinder walls look okay. Nothing major. I do see these spots where I'm gonna have to check the valves. I don't know if that's just carbon or if the valves actually hit these. I don't see any blow-by, which, you know, looks like the cylinders were all sealed. Take this one off. Interesting. That's very interesting. Looks good on this side, sealed all the way around. You tell me if you notice anything different, but from my limited knowledge, I'm thinking that looked okay. I'm just concerned about those valves on the inside right here. Looks like, unless that's just carbon. Oh, there is a pin that dropped in there. Look at that. That probably goes on this one. We'll make sure we get it in there. Oh, it looks a little rusty, kind of. Maybe it wasn't firing really well where the rest of them were. Oh, let's get a flashlight here. Just dirt inside of the... Yeah, it's just those. I'm not sure if the valves hit or not. So, ready to go take a look at the other side of the head? Percent battery left. I gotta find out if they actually bent or not, which hope in the case is no. So what I'll do is I'll put the spark plugs in and fill it up with some gasoline, see what it does. If it leaks, then the valves are probably bent, but it may only just be a couple of them. All right. Okay, so here's the plan. Have gasoline, right? I've only done this on Volkswagen, air-cooled Volkswagen heads, but this is a Volkswagen head, so maybe it'll work the same way. Anyway, what I've been told is you just put some gasoline in here, and you see if it leaks. Should not leak. I'm going to cover the valves completely. Okay, these are the ones that I'm worried about here. And if they leak, got some paper towels down here, but so far so good. This is the one I'm worried about. This is the one that kind of, oh, look at that. Okay, so these are good. This one's got problems. It is bent. That is not number one. Number one is here. You see how those just leaked right out? It's probably filling up down here. Rest of these are doing okay, but this one for sure. So those did, I don't know if they hit, but they're bent or something's going on there. Either they're bent or they got a seat malfunction. Rest of those are doing okay. Let's make sure. Interesting. Okay. So new plan. try to figure out how to replace these valves. Can't be that hard, right? What have I gotten myself into? Anyway, thanks, Brian, for the idea. Good idea, Brian, if you're watching. And I should probably thank my sponsors. So Brian, thanks for the idea sponsor. And then Tim, my neighbor down the street, sponsoring me with the engine hoist that he doesn't have room in his own garage to put it, so it's in my garage for now. Anyway, all right, so new thing here. We got to figure this out. Well, they didn't go through the exhaust valves. Let me get a flashlight. Aha! This is the intake side. So the ones with the divots, this is intake side. So the exhaust side, and and I can even see it. You can see, at least I can see that there's just a little bit of a gap. The bottom there. In fact, let's make sure I've got something to catch the gasoline if it comes out that side. That's my intake port there. Intake side. If I put the, oh yeah, look at that. See the shadow there on that? So that's coming right out of there. Let's see if these are bent here. Nope. Well, that's pretty handy to just do that. This one has also been filling up with a little bit of gas. Let's see if I've got, it does not look like that one's, it may have a slight leak, but nothing like this first one. Look at that, you can see the light. Right down here, you see the light. And on this one, I am not seeing any light. But I do see that that one is draining a little bit more than the rest of them. Well, this is probably going to end this video for Mr. Smith Garage, this segment. I'm going to start looking to see, is it cheaper to replace the head, or can I have just a couple of valves done? I think the rest of them are going to be okay, but for sure this one, and then possibly this one. If you can see what I'm pointing at. For sure this one, which is 6, I believe, and possibly 5 is going to need valves, and then so is the case, just redo all the valves. Okay, that's where I'm at. So I'm just going to clean this up a little bit so it's a little bit cleaner so I can figure out what I'm going to do. But this is going to end this piece of the video. Thanks for joining Mr. Smith Garage. Subscribe, like, comment down below if you think I'm crazy about what I'm doing, which somewhat feel like I'm a little crazy right now. And if you got any ideas of what I can do, maybe I just pull the valves out and kind of tap them a little bit, try to bend them back.